Hezekiah, Josiah, Asa, Jehoshaphat. No, I am not an Amish man calling my children in for breakfast. What I am is a guy who's listing the good kings of the divided kingdom when Israel and Judah were separated. Like in 300 years, I came up with 4. You could stretch it to 5. In fact, if you took some that weren't all that bad, you might even go to 7 or 8 that were decent kings. But that's out of like 38. And that's over 300 years. And the rest of these guys were not just incompetent. I mean, they were a mess. I mean, I would tell you what I really think about them, but I don't think a good Amish man would talk like that. I mean, they were just terrible. They would turn people away from God. And yet God still managed to accomplish his purpose through these people. He still managed to redeem the world. And he used this group of messed up people to bring the Redeemer, to bring the Deliverer, to bring Jesus Christ. God's got this. The prophet Isaiah, in a rhetorical question in chapter 14, he says, "For the Lord of hosts has purposed, who will annul it? His hand is stretched out, who will turn it back?" He says, basically, God has this. Now listen, in less than a week from today, in the good old US of A, is election day. Hey, a little Amish poetry there for you. And I'm hearing people say, hey, there is no way I can survive 4 more years of Donald J. And there is no way that if Harris and Biden are elected, Biden and Harris are elected, I'm going to stay around here. I'm just not going to do it. I'm moving to Djibouti. And by the way, I don't recommend that. Djibouti's not that great this time of year. But basically, there are people everywhere, and sometimes myself included, we're losing sleep over this thing. I just want to remind you, God's not. Now, I know God doesn't sleep, but if he did, he wouldn't be losing sleep. So take a word from Farmer Dan today. Farmer Dan, it doesn't sound very Amish. How about Brother Daniel? Take a word from Brother Daniel today, or take 3 words. Here they are. Pray, vote, and trust. Listen, if God and his purposes and his church and his word have made it through, I don't know, how about Ahab and Jezebel? How about Manasseh? Those were 2 of the really messed up ones from this time period. Well, let's go on. If he made it through the Herods, if he made it through Nero, if he made it through the Hitlers, I got a feeling God has it. Well, wait a minute. Don't you know, though, that this election is going to be stolen? You wouldn't believe the incredibly corrupt ways that some of these leaders came to power. Many of them killed their own families. So my friends, very simply, God has this. Okay? So I don't want a week from now us to be climbing up to jump off the bridges. In fact, if you need a place to relax, come on out to the farm here with me and the boys. Caleb, Jedediah, Joshua, come on over here. We need to calm these people down. We need to remember to pray, to vote, and to trust.